the real juice, you know? This is the stuff that gets me super excited about the law of attraction. There's the growth that you can hustle for, and then there's the growth that you can't even explain, that is so much more than you could do with your own physical body.
Don't know who Lucie is. She is an amazing person, of course, a very beautiful soul, who is a part of Herbal Life Nutrition, who also has her YouTube channel, Life by Lucie, and she can literally help you manifest whatever you want through scripting. I mean, she's a whole manifesting goddess if you ask me about it. Lucie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you for that lovely intro, Bri. Hi everyone. Like Bri was saying, I'm an entrepreneur. I have been running my own business for about 5 years now. Partnering with the largest nutrition brand in the world. But the first few years were quite slow, quite stuck, and I obviously wanted to figure out why, and maybe some of you can relate. Maybe you've seen some people putting in lots of energy, working really, really hard, and not getting results. And maybe some other people are maybe not even working that hard, but things just seem to flow for them. So this is something that fascinated me when I was working really hard in my business and not really seeing anything grow or any results change. So this obviously led to me asking these questions, trying to figure out the answers, which took me down the rabbit hole of learning about the law of attraction and discovering all of this, this sort of perspective, these theories that actually, taking action is important, but what could be 100 times more powerful is taking aligned action, taking action when you're coming from a place where you're feeling worthy, where you believe or you deserve to attract things into your life. So that's been a big part of my journey, is that to get unstuck, it was an inner work process. I had to work on my internal world, and that is what got my business picking up. Now, fast forward to now, just in the last 12 months, my business has 10x. It's weird. It's like is it fast growth, or is it actually a build-up of the energy I was putting into my business for 5 years? Or is it that from the shifts I've had going on internally in terms of how I feel about myself, how I believe in myself more, is that what's caused this shift from being stuck to growth? So might be something we can discuss a little bit in today's conversation. What do you think, Bri?
That would be lovely, and I love the way you speak. It's so wonderful. Everyone could listen to you speak for hours. It's so lovely.
Thank you.
We have the lovely Sara over here. She is such a lovely soul. Sara, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you so much, Brija, and hi, Lucie. Hi, everyone in the room.
Hi, Sara.
Hi, it's so great to connect, and on such a great topic as well. For those of you who don't know me, Sara Aloutabi here. I'm an international speaker, law of attraction coach, and I am honestly just feeling blessed every single day that I get to help people with things that I overcame, and that's why I originally became a coach, is that I went through quite a bit in life and figured out that, it was helpful to be able to give that back and help other people go through that. So it's my pleasure to be able to help coach people around the world, and we're just here to add value. Thanks again, Brija, as well, for setting this up. This is awesome.
You're welcome. It's very beautiful to have two very powerful women in this space. I love how Lucie is how the conversation was flowing into, a lot of people put in so much work to make things happen, and suddenly the moment they're like, you know what, I know my worth, and the game changes. Like, the shift happens. It happens in such a powerful way. It's like you just start attracting things like crazy. Would you like to share your stories with that?
Go ahead, Lucie. I feel like, do you want me to go first? I feel like if you want to share first, Lucie, and then I'll hop on after.
Okay, sure. Yeah, this is the real juice, you know? This is the stuff that gets me super excited about the law of attraction, you know? And I know there's a lot of mixed messages I find that go out there about the law of attraction, you know? Because there's one extreme school of thought, which is that it's actually got nothing to do with your action and it's all just about vibration. And then there's other people who say, you know, nothing can happen without taking action. And so sometimes when I'm just watching like a bite-sized YouTube video or something where it doesn't have time to go into the full explanation, it can sound like some people are saying one thing and some people are saying the total opposite thing. But I think it is about this sweet spot, this sweet combination of taking action in terms of the fact that, you know, we're infinitely powerful spiritual beings temporarily living a physical experience, right? So physical experience means that we entered this dimension, we have a body, most of us have two hands and, you know, one mouth, and we can use this vessel that we've got during this lifetime. So, you know, if we were to just sit under a tree and meditate all day, every day, we wouldn't be tapping into the potential that we actually have while we're here in these physical bodies. And, you know, to create a piece of art or to write a book or to create an inspiring YouTube channel or build a business, it does require action, right? But this point about what I experienced, you know, about how I was taking so much action, 12 hours, 14, 16-hour days of work, and yet I still just had a couple of £100 in the bank. And it was almost like every month that I didn't see growth, I was then, you know, manifesting more of the same, because I would look at the results column and go, oh, look, it's still not growing. Why isn't it growing? And so my focus was all on the lack. And so what I changed, and, you know, it's kind of been the last year, but then it's turbocharged even more just in the last 3 months. 3 months ago, I actively looked at all areas of my business, anywhere where I, in the past, would have looked at those numbers, for example, or analytics of how the business was going. And previously, I would look at them and go, oh, okay, still not where I want to be yet. Oh, okay, that's a bit lower than I'd like. Oh, okay, that's still growing a bit slowly. And I thought, whoa, hold up. Am I potentially doing myself a big disservice here, you know, by focusing on the lack? So I felt a bit silly doing it, but I thought, hey, what have I got to lose? Am I still in the room, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. I just had to click away. I was like, am I still in there?
No, you're
Oh, great. I thought, have I been talking for 5 minutes and left the room?
No, we are actually, it's a very relatable topic, because, you know, it's like you have people who are working so many hours every single day, putting in so much work, but, like, the results are not there.
Yeah.
And it's the same with manifestations. Like, they're trying to manifest something constantly, but the results are not coming up.
Absolutely. You know, so what I did, I felt a bit silly doing it at the time, but I went through every single number in my bank account, number in my business, all of these things, and I spoke to each one of them. I was like, wow, I'm so grateful for this customer who's just placed, you know, even if it was like a very small order or something, I went through and I appreciated absolutely everything. And it was the first time in my business that I'd actually ever done that. And I realized, wow, when I started my business, my mindset was filled with doubt, filled with lack of self-belief, filled with kind of nerves and worry, which I'm sure many people feel when they first start a business, right? But I didn't realize how actually I laid the foundations of my business in a way where it was all kind of destined not to grow. And so I couldn't believe, I was like, wow, I can't believe this is the first time I'm ever appreciating what I have got rather than constantly aiming higher for something that I haven't attained yet, you know? And by just changing my focus, the following month I had a record month in business. We broke records as a team. I don't even really understand how it happened. It's what could be described as a quantum leap, you know, these kinds of there's the growth that you can hustle for, and then there's the growth that you can't even explain, that is so much more than you could do with your own physical body, you know. And I think that's the fun stuff, that's the law of attraction stuff, that's what we can really tap into when we harness not just action but being in alignment.
Definitely, it has a lot to do with alignment. But how exactly do we know if we are in alignment? Sara, would you like to go for this one?
Oh, definitely. And I'm like wooing in the background at Lucie's story. I'm like, yes. It's so true when you finally get into that state of just appreciation, right? It's like things just start to come out of nowhere. And I love what you said about the kind of the worthiness, and then you feel like you get this big leap, right, Brija? You were talking about leap in the beginning. But if you look at your life trajectory, what I've often found with mine is that there are multiple leaps. Like you'll always have multiple jumps and leaps. They'll always be there for your growth and your direction. It's a journey, right? But when you're talking about this, just if you could repeat the question, because I want to make sure that I answer accurately for you. It's about noticing whether you're aligned or not, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So with alignment, the key is, and law of attraction, energy is everything and everything is energy. We are energy inside a physical being, right? You know, we used to say your soul is in your body. Now we know that the body is in the soul. We're able to test that vibrational frequency on the skin. So the key for alignment is being in tune, being in touch and self-aware of your emotions. And part of that is actually coming to acceptance. Right? Coming to acceptance of love of your own emotional self and respecting it enough to say, I feel this way right now, or I feel another way right now. And it's also being able to be out of alignment and be okay with it, right? I love how Abraham Hicks puts this, because Abraham Hicks was the first person that really I got into law of attraction with, and then afterwards when Master Shri came out, and 2 years ago it was Master Shri was then guiding me forward. But the steps were, right, you go into that step one moment where you're having this emotional response to something, right? Then the step two moment is that source already gets that, because when you're going through negative or when you're out of alignment, you are actually going shopping for what you actually want to manifest. Right? We don't see it that way. We don't see it that way. We just see this negative situation. Right?
Absolutely.
And it's like, now when I'm in a negative situation, I just try and remind myself, or a negative emotion, or I feel like I'm out of alignment, I'm like, okay, I'm going shopping for what I'm going to get at Christmas or something. You know, I try and reframe it differently to help myself get back in alignment, because the third step after that, right, is getting into alignment to receive it. So when you feel aligned, and actually this has taken a different turn in my journey, because now alignment, and especially doing this work spiritually, has become channeling. So like channeling messages, whereas like before you would think like, oh, I didn't know how I manifested this. It's like, now I'm sure Lucie feels this too, and you as well, Brija. It's like, I didn't even realize that I said this, or I thought this. Like, it's just, you just channel these things out, right? So it's, so it's an emotional compass, really. But I think the biggest thing to always share is just all of it is okay, whether you're in alignment or not. It's just shortening the time that you feel that negative emotion, to get yourself back into feeling that bliss, feeling that abundance, feeling that gratitude, as Lucie mentioned, in the moment. Those are all vibrations of being in alignment.
Yes.